Morgan at Morgan.
Now, Wave News at 4.
This is Wave News at 4. I'm Dolan G. After a night of damaging winds across Wave Country, the alert day continues, this time for snow. Meteorologist Brian Good joins us now to walk us through what we can expect tonight. And I couldn't tell, if it was snow, because it's kind of hard when it hits you.
Yeah, it's a very good observation, Don. I knew you were going to be a meteorologist. We're deputizing you. Yes, you pay very close attention. It's more of like a snow grain or a grapple kind of look to it, a little bit like sleet, if you will, to where it's not a pretty snowflake by design. It's just more like little pieces of snow, if you will, that are falling down. So the good news about that is it's a little harder to accumulate when it's like that versus the flakes actually do accumulate a little easier. Having said that, temperatures are still dropping, and as these snow showers move in, watch out for the drop in visibility and watch out for a few slick spots. But this is not a widespread issue here, so the alert day is only just for a few hours to get us into the early evening, and then we'll be able to drop that. But still use caution even after that expires this evening. 31 degrees in Louisville, 28 into Salem, 30 at Fort Knox. But once again, the wind is still the issue. Currently gusting around 30 miles per hour, so you factor that into this whole mess. Feels like 18 in Louisville, 15 in Jasper, 18 in North Vernon, and 18 in Shelbyville. And look at the radar. It has lit up a lot of snow showers, but again, it looks worse on the radar than the reality. You're not going to get snowed in or anything like that, but minor accumulation in a few spots. We're not going to rule it out. And it may ease briefly this evening, only to expand again during the overnight, so we'll need to monitor that. Now, this is all on the backside of the severe weather setup we had last night. Weather Service is still out surveying the damage area. There were 3 spots from Grayson County to southeast Meade, northwest side there of Hardin County, just south of Highway 44 in Bullitt County near Mount Washington, and in Nelson County near Bardstown. Still at this point, no word yet officially what the decision has been on all 3 of those areas. We'll keep you updated on.
All right, Brian, thank you. Well, the storms that triggered tornado warnings overnight left a mess across parts of Wave Country with high winds bringing down trees and power lines. The good news, no one was hurt, but there was plenty of cleanup to be done today. The National Weather Service had crews spread across 4 counties surveying the damage. We found KYTC crews in Bullitt County this afternoon, removing fallen trees from roads. Fire crews told us they spent nearly all of their day responding to calls for service. Wave News reporter Logan Perrone will have more from people who were in the middle of that storm tonight on Wave News at 5. We're not only seeing storm reports in the Commonwealth, but across the river in southern Indiana. That is where Wave News reporter Kirsten Foote stopped by to check out that damage.
Crews up in Scottsburg are braving a cold and blustery Monday, fixing this roof that was damaged overnight. This building belongs to the Scottsburg Water Department. It appears the heavy winds that came through overnight lifted off part of its base. The city posting on social media Sunday the building has a ceiling and all operations are continuing to run normal and on schedule. On Monday, Scottsburg city officials told Wave that was the only major damage they were aware of that came in overnight. And crews were already hard at work repairing the roof, braving the cold temperatures and gusty winds to get it back to normal. City officials do not have an official timeline as to how long it'll take to get this roof fully repaired. But again, crews are already at work fixing this roof after overnight damage from Sunday night into Monday's storm. Reporting in Scottsburg, Indiana, Kirsten Foote, Wave News.
Well, checking in on power outages, according to LG&E, there are about 300 people in our area who still are without power. Meanwhile, Duke Energy is reporting about 600 Hoosiers in Wave Country that are still in the dark. Even if your power goes out, our Wave Weather Now stream is up to help you stay ahead of storms. You can stream it from your phone through our Wave News app and the Wave Weather app. I had them all going last night, and the TV was on. It's also available through Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I appreciate our storm team's hard work. Well, we're learning more about a Kentucky airman who was killed last week as she was working on Operation Epic Fury in the Middle East. 34-year-old side where it's cold. And Brian Good, I was just telling you a bit ago, my fruit trees have the most beautiful blooms they have ever had, setting their fruit. And the temperatures are going to be insane tonight.
Yeah, this is a shame. We get this sometimes when we get these little early shots of warmth, and wow, everyone gets excited about that. And that's a good thing. It does generate a lot of growth a little early, and then you get these kind of cold outbreaks, and that's where things become a bit of a mess. In fact, even the tulips out here in the weather garden, there's about 2 or 3 here that are about to open up their blooms. Yeah, they're going to be at risk there. The only thing that I think out here in the weather garden we're thankful of right now, hopefully you are at home as well, is the Japanese maple has not leafed out yet. Those you obviously got to protect too if they were to have leafed out. So double check yours if you have one planted. And let's hope the Dawn it gets her blooms okay. It gets through this cold spell, because it is going to be a very cold setup the next couple of mornings. In fact, we're below freezing in many areas now. We're not really going to get above it until Wednesday around lunch. Until then, we'll be frozen solid here again. We're at the freezing mark right now here at the sensor. It feels like 22, and that's really in a very sheltered spot here, the sensor is, but it feels colder than that in some spots. And the flakes falling gently. You can see them more like snowflakes and snow grains, if you will, falling down on us. Hard to even see you guys because they're falling right in front of the lens of the camera there. But it is kind of a snow globe effect. It's a good way to describe it, and it'll be like this much of the night, actually. It's not going to cause a lot of problems because it's constantly been snowing out here, but you don't see any of it sticking to the ground, right? So that could change in a few areas later tonight as we get even colder temperatures, especially in Indiana. The road temperatures are dropping. You're about to cross the freezing mark, and even the main roads there. So an isolated slick spot or two, I can't rule it out, but most areas, the warm ground will still win in your favor. You see the snow chances for tomorrow, mainly early in the morning hours. We'll get a bit of a break, but notice that snow chance picks back up again as we head into late Tuesday night into Wednesday. It's yet another wave of snow that'll be moving in as we head into Wednesday. So Tuesday, light snow in the morning, a little bit of sun in the afternoon. Then you see that hint later into Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Vast little clipper moves in. This could actually put down up to an inch of snow in a few areas, especially in Indiana up 71. Wouldn't surprise me. So there could be some slick spots early Wednesday. Something we'll be monitoring carefully. But then we, again, thaw out lunch on Wednesday. And then, oh, yes, there we go. Nice little fall kicks in just in time for the weekend. 70s and 80s come back and play for the upcoming weekend. I'll have more on that coming up in just a few more minutes, Don.
I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous. 80s. Wow. Thank you, Brian. We're not the only ones racing toward a new Derby season. Next, we're highlighting the top horses aiming for a spot in the starting gates for this year's Kentucky Derby 152.
Right now, tonight at 5, new developments. This woman has been identified as the victim of a tragic accident during the St. Patrick's Parade. Tonight, a statement from the Archdiocese about her. And parade organizers explain why they restarted the parade after the accident.
Plus, National Weather Service teams are out looking over the storm damage today. And Ian Hartwood reports on tornado sirens. It didn't work in Shelby County.
And it is like Christmas all over in basketball. Crazy Kentucky out of the tournament trail is set. It begins for UK and U of L, men and women. Sports director Ken Spencer is going to join us live right here before he hits the road for coverage right now, tonight at 5. And we begin with you here this afternoon at 5 o'clock with new developments in the tragedy at this weekend's St. Patrick's Parade. The woman who died after being run over by a float has now been identified. Hello, everyone. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. Officials say that incident happened after the parade had been underway for about an hour. Now, investigators say 50-year-old Joan Panuti Pottinger was walking alongside a parade float at Bardstown Road in Grinstead when her foot got caught, causing her to fall and trapping her under that float. Emergency crews provided first aid at the scene before EMS arrived. She was taken to U of L Hospital where she later died.
Now today I asked parade organizers why the parade continued after that, and John O'Dwyer telling me that they did discuss stopping the event with LMPD, but it was determined that the safest option was to allow the parade to continue to help disperse the huge crowds that were already along the route. Pottinger was a member of the local Catholic Church community, St. Agnes. Today, Archbishop of Louisville, Sheldon Fabre, releasing a statement about the tragedy. He says in part, quote, "I want to express my condolences to her husband and her children as they deal with this profound loss. Furthermore, I want to extend my sympathy to the St. Agnes community who knew and loved Joan. Please know."
Continued prayers and support of the family.
Now to others. Top story we're following at 5. Tornado sirens had many of us taking cover late last night, and today National Weather Service teams were out surveying damage across the area.
Yeah, the sirens were scary, but in Shelby County, those warning sirens didn't even sound, and extreme winds shredded parts of Bullitt County. That's what our Ian Hardwick and photojournalist Gabby DeGeorge found out today.
50-plus mile-per-hour winds peeled apart this home garage in Bullitt County. Homeowners worked through the morning to free the speedboat inside, bracing the building with its scraps while parts of it swung in the tree next door. Up the road, dozens of trees toppled overnight.
No, I didn't know the tree was down until this morning.
Like Frances Breeden's.
I was just shocked that this big old thing blew down.
Shocked by the 2 trees blocking her neighbor's driveway and the missing shingles 5 houses over.
It could have been much worse. And so I'm thankful.
To the east, Shelby County's Emergency Director Chris Spalding's thankful the storm only knocked 5 trees into the road. He found the county's outdoor sirens went out during the tornado warning.
Yes, we're going to have hiccups like this.
But he said engineers should have it fixed by the end of the day.
They've repaired what the issue was in dispatch. They went out to the tower site and corrected that.
Though he said the county's rave phone alerts have a 100% success rate so far, maybe too good.
Sometimes people will contact me saying they're getting too many alerts. That's a great thing in my eyes. But then have your NOAA weather radio.
Even the small hardware stores have them, about $35 for the small weather radio or $55 for the bigger ones.
Because sirens should be the last way you find out about a severe storm. Reporting in Shelby County, Ian Hardwick for WHAS 11 News on your side.
Spalding told us there were no injuries reported in Shelby County.
And the same goes for Armstrong Lane in Bullitt County.
So let's get the latest on that survey, whether they're looking for any tornado damage. Plus, we also want to give you an update on I-71, and our chief meteorologist, Mallory Schnell, is keeping an eye on all of that. Mallory?
Yeah, so we were mentioning this during the 4 o'clock newscast, a new accident on our Trimark cameras, and you can see that here. This is the I-71 south ramp to the Gene Snyder southbound. You'll notice it looks like, what I can tell, a semi-truck that's overturned, so all lanes are closed. You can't go from 71 southbound there to I-265 southbound as you normally would. I'll keep an eye on this and bring you updates throughout the newscast this evening. But weather-wise, what we're seeing today, much different than yesterday. We had all those severe storms yesterday evening and into the overnight hours. Some tornado warnings as well. And you can tell just how strong this cold front was, because temperatures today are running 40 to 45 degrees colder than this time 24 hours ago. That puts us into the 20s and 30s for afternoon temperatures all across the region, of course, feeling even colder than that with the gusty winds that we have in place. Max HG radar showing scattered snow showers continuing to rotate through here. The steadier accumulations have been more so in eastern Kentucky. You can see that band of snow that's really filling in as it pushes east into West Virginia. But here at home, we're seeing flakes flying around, some snow pellets from time to time. Could see some grassy accumulations if you get caught under a bigger snow burst or a snow squall. And we'll hold that chance really through tomorrow morning before clouds decrease. A very chilly St. Patrick's Day is on tap with temperatures right around the freezing mark. But we do have warmer days ahead, of course. I'll let you know when highs return to the 70s. That's coming up in our 7-day forecast.
Mallory, thank you. Here tonight at 5. Tonight, the first live televised Republican debate in the race to replace the retiring Senator Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, tonight the Jefferson County Republican Party is hosting former Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron, Congressman Andy Barr, and businessman Nate Moore.
The brackets are set and the madness is about to begin. UK and U of L getting ready to start tournament play. We're breaking down who, when, and where each team will kick off their road to the Final Four.
A devastating end to the annual St. Patrick's Day parade in the Highlands after a woman dies along the parade route. Tonight, we learn more from her grieving husband and the community.
We couldn't even hear ourselves. It was just like a rumble, jet engine.
Tornado warnings, thunderstorm warnings, and a whole lot of strong wind. It was a dicey night in the WLKY viewing area as storms rolled through overnight. Our weather team was here all night bringing you the absolute latest to keep you and your family safe.
Today, our crews visit the hardest hit areas, including Hardin County, Grayson County, Nelson County, Bullitt County, and Scott County in Indiana. But we begin tonight with Madison Elliott in Hardin County.
Winds ripped across Hardin County overnight, causing homeowner Stephen Hazelton and his family to hide in the closet. He says the power of the gust was like nothing he's ever heard before.
Well, everyone always says that there's that distinct sound, and yeah, we couldn't even hear ourselves. It was just like a rumble, jet engine, just like for at least a good 5 minutes.
He and his family made it through the storm. Hazelton then came to his grandparents' house here in Rineyville, where some of the roof of their barn peeled back and fallen pine trees covered their driveway. He and his son spent the day on Monday clearing it out.
We're just trying to get this cleaned up and, just being family.
Crews also spent the day clearing down trees from roadways. But not far away from here on Berrytown Road, more than trees came down.
This barn came down in Hardin County during the storms overnight. We spoke to the homeowner here who says she's okay. She was hiding in the basement, and when they came upstairs, there was a flash of lightning, and that's when they saw this barn.
The National Weather Service, alongside Hardin County EMA Director Joey Scott, traveled across the county surveying the damage. Scott said the storm caused damage in the northern side of the county, as well as Rineyville, and traveled into Flaherty just over the Meade County line.
We're just getting sporadic areas that obviously we got a lot of barn damage. We've got a lot of trees down the area. Not too much structural damage to homes.
There's some indications of rotation, but there's kind of tricky where it's a lot of straight line wind damage in there too. It's kind of a mix when you get these cold fronts moving the way they did.
In another part of the county, just a few miles away, panels were scattered across the yard and a pond. As cleanup continues, Hazelton says he's glad he and his family are doing okay.
This one even raised the hair on my back, so yeah, hopefully not ever have to do this again.
In Hardin County, Madison Elliott, WLKY News.
Emergency management says that there are no reported injuries in Hardin County.
The National Weather Service spent time in Grayson County today to determine if the tornado touched down there. There were more than 75 reports of trees and power lines down, damage to houses and structures, as well as barns completely flattened. Addie Miner spent the day in Grayson County talking with neighbors about what the storm left behind.
This was the scene all across Grayson County on Monday as dozens of massive old trees were knocked over and uprooted by Sunday night storms.
We cleaned them back when we first built the house here, basement here. Got a bunch of trees and set them out here and have plenty of shade.
But Eugene Hayes says after 59 years, one of those trees was ripped up and thrown over by Sunday night storm.
Well, I heard a big kabang, and I didn't know the tree fell in until about 2 hours later. The grandson called back and told us that the tree fell down, and wasn't nothing we could do. We just sit back and take it easy.
Eugene's tree was one of hundreds we saw uprooted across Grayson County on Monday.
So we've had a tremendous amount of down trees and down power lines. We've had crews out, fire department, road crews.
But thankfully, Grayson County Emergency Management Director Kerry Sims says no injuries were reported. He attributes that to the warnings issued in the days leading up to Sunday night.
I feel like last night we had a lot of people awake and were waiting for this storm and weren't going to bed till it was through. So I don't think it caught anyone off guard in sleep last night. I feel like we dodged a bullet. It could have been a lot worse.
More than 2,000 customers across the county were without power on Monday, including Eugene. But Sims says crews are working nonstop to get it back on.
I hope we do, because we got one of these heaters, gas heaters hanging on the wall. That's all we heat with right now anyway, and I'll turn it up a little bit.
In Grayson County, I'm Addie Miners, WLKY News.
The National Weather Service was in Grayson County today. They have not yet determined whether or not the damage was due to a tornado or straight line wind.
Storms also packed a punch in Nelson County, leaving damage behind there. The strong winds knocked a tree on top of a house in Bardstown. Branches were also scattered about, blocking roads. There were dozens of downed wires and broken poles, causing upwards of 7,000 customers to lose power. Crews worked around the clock restoring electricity to a majority of households by Monday evening.
You know, every outage is unique. You know, you're going to run into some stuff here and there that, okay, guys, this is going to take a little bit more time than we thought it would. You know, but it doesn't really matter because our guys are committed to making sure that every member is taken care of, even those people who are on the last mile of line.
Today, the National Weather Service is surveying the storm damage that impacted this area.
Last night's storms also ripped through portions of Bullitt County and Mount Washington. Utility crews were out before dawn trying to restore power to homes and businesses. Trees were damaged across the area, and in one spot, a 3-car garage and workshop was destroyed. No one was hurt, but the homeowner told us he woke up moments before the roof and back wall of that workshop were ripped away.
Midnight, quarter after, I think. And I mean, all of a sudden, I mean, it sounded like a freight train outside. I mean, it was super loud. One of the back windows blew out.
So far, no injuries reported in Bullitt County from last night's storm.
Over in Scottsburg, strong winds badly damaged the roof at the water treatment plant from Sunday's storms. One person was inside working but was not hurt. Officials tell us the 25-year-old building wasn't damaged on the inside either.
We have another protection roof underneath that roof. So nothing has been compromised as far as our water quality, but we did take a big hit.
And the damage had no impact on the operations at the facility. No word on how long it will take crews to repair it.
We're following late-breaking news out of Frankfort. The Kentucky House just voted to override Governor Beshear's veto of House Bill 1. The bill would allow people to receive federal tax credits if they contribute to certain scholarship-granting organizations. Critics accuse the legislation of diverting tax dollars to private or charter schools. It would now be taken back up in the Senate.
A judge has significantly reduced the bonds for 2 men charged in a deadly shooting outside of a Shively nightclub. Chance Guthrie
trying to occur with some of these heavier snow showers.
Your WLKY weather with Chief Meteorologist Jay Cardosi.
Yeah, quite the night of strong to severe storms across the viewing area last night, of course, and surveys continue in the WLKY viewing area. 3 surveys, one ongoing from Grayson up into Hardin County. That was with a supercell that formed just ahead of the main line. So looking at the radar, and as we were tracking that storm last night, that was rotating decently too. Looked like there could have been a tornado in that particular storm. Then we had a couple of little notches form on the line itself, a little bit of what we call a velocity couplet that could have spun up quick hitting tornadoes near Mount Washington, where a survey continues. It's actually been completed, so I'm anxious to see what National Weather Service has found. Also, right around the Bardstown area, they're going to be conducting a survey today, and that's going to be extended into tomorrow as well. So I'll be here keeping you up to date. As soon as I get the information, of course, I'll pass it on to you. All right, here's a live look outside right now. The TriMark Camera Network. This is I-65 at the Gene Snyder. Look real close. Little streaks of white there. We've had some snow showers work through. Temperatures are now below freezing, so yeah, there's a little bit of minor accumulation trying to occur with some of these heavier snow showers. You can see one closing in on Mount Washington, another one coming out of New Albany into the west end. More scattered snow showers for Harrison County, and they're kind of just scattered all around. Where you see the darker blues, that snow comes down fairly decent, at least for a short time. And as we move into the nighttime hours and we lose the solar insulation reaching the ground, watch out. You get caught underneath one of these heavier snow showers, you could see a quick accumulation. It'll be minor, but you could see a quick accumulation, and there could be a slick spot or two forming as well. So just something to keep in mind if you have some travel plans on this Monday evening. Here's a live look outside right now from the tower cam right here. Melwood Avenue, looking back towards Louisville. Notice the fuzzy appearance out there, so a few flurries still in the air. Here are your weather headlines. No doubt it's going to stay cold and wintry tonight through tomorrow with those occasional flurries and snow showers. Hey, another chance for patchy light snow in here late tomorrow night and early Wednesday. And then we're going to see a huge warm-up work in our direction late in the work week into the upcoming weekend. I want to show you late tomorrow night and Wednesday morning a fast-moving disturbance that's going to ride the jet stream right down through the region. going to try to squeeze out a couple of hours of very light snow in spots around the viewing area. It won't last long, but keep in mind with temperatures at or below freezing, the fact this is going to be late at night, there could be some minor accumulations. So keep that in mind as you wake up Wednesday morning. Otherwise, by Wednesday afternoon, boy, here comes the sunshine. Anything that does happen to fall quickly melts away as temperatures warm to near 50 Wednesday afternoon. Right now, we have scattered snow showers. Wow, it is cold out there. 28 degrees with that west-northwesterly wind at 23 miles an hour. The feel like right now is 14. Here's your forecast now. For the evening, occasional flurries, a few snow showers. Watch out for one or two of those heavier snow showers once we go into the dark hours. A little bit of light accumulation possible with those. Otherwise, temperatures in the 20s and wind chills late tonight, tomorrow morning, single digits in lower teens. Here's tomorrow's detailed forecast. Waking up cloudy, a few flurries, low 20s. Then some sunshine in the afternoon, a cold high of 36. A little better on Wednesday after that chance for a little bit of light snow Wednesday morning. We're back near 50, and the warm-up really gets cranking as we head towards, how fitting, the first day of spring, which is Friday, up to 72. And guys, we could be dancing with that 80-degree mark by Saturday.
That's crazy.
That would be nice. This is short-lived, right?
We'll dance away. Speaking of dancing, March Madness is in full swing right now. You saw the Selection Sunday reveal live right here on WLKY last night. Now we're breaking down where our local teams are headed and their first matchups.
Here are the lottery jackpots. Tonight's Powerball drawing $88 million. Tomorrow's Mega Millions drawing $60 million.
The Kentucky Derby Festival Foundation's golden...
Now at 5, a Wayne County man wakes up to a tree through his roof and just inches from his bed. The overnight storms that left damage across southern Kentucky.
And fossils offer us a glimpse into what the Commonwealth looked like a million years ago. We hear from experts. That's coming up.
Colder air has arrived. I will let you know how long it will last and even some more chances for snow in the forecast. I'm going to have all that coming up.
Local first. Now, we bring you WBKL News at 5.
Colder weather has arrived. We'll let you know how long it's going to last. A severe weather storm hit southern Kentucky this weekend, and while we haven't seen any damage here, it's been reported in other parts. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gene Burke.
And I'm Kelly Austin. A number of counties reported damage. A Wayne County man says that he woke up after a tree fell into his house.
He wasn't hurt, but as Phil Pendleton reports, his house will need a lot of repairs. It's our top story at 4.
Obviously a very eventful weather day here across southern Kentucky, here in Wayne County. The severe weather overnight, the snowfall today, and now the cleanup for a lot of people, especially a man on Highway 834 who woke up this morning after a tree crashed through his bedroom.
I didn't know it was this bad until, the sun started to come out a little bit.
And what is even more bizarre is that Dylan Hayes slept through most of the severe weather early Monday, didn't wake up until his mother called him. High winds knocked the tree over into his house, the limb coming completely through the roof and into his bedroom, landing just inches from where he was asleep. He wasn't hurt, but his house will not be livable for quite some time.
I'm definitely thankful for the good Lord for protecting me from this, and my God's definitely bigger than any tornado or cedar tree I ever thought about being.
And that wasn't all of it. A school bus en route to school and got hung up in some low-hanging power lines. The fire department was called. Everybody on the school bus okay. The school bus was very, very minimal damage.
There's no word yet on if straight-line winds or a tornado caused those damages. Governor Beshear says there are no reported injuries after the storms overnight, but as we've seen, there is damage to homes and buildings throughout the state. Kentucky Emergency Management and local crews are out today assessing that.
And the storm also caused a number of power outages in our viewing area. And as of 5 p.m. in Grayson County, 1,594 have been reported.
In Clinton County, there are 782. Butler County has 181. Moving west to Christian County, where 224 outages are reported. Muhlenberg County has 382 outages. Todd County, 262. And Edmonson County, just 28. WBKO will continue to monitor the outages in our area and keep you up to date on there and online.
We've got a pretty shot out in Columbia this afternoon. Forgetting how to talk there for a second. We're still seeing a few snow flurries that are out there. Those are definitely some snow clouds, and it's been very, very breezy. And when that snow has been falling and has been heavy, it's definitely reduced the visibility for some of us. I was watching the visibility just kind of reduce around lunchtime this afternoon from my apartment window as the snow flurries moved through. Those wind speeds have been pretty gusty at times, coming in at 18 miles per hour, sustained here in Bowling Green, 21 in Greenville, 17 over in Columbia. So definitely breezy at times this afternoon. Doppler maps continuing to show those showers push off to our east areas, kind of west of I-65 areas like Madisonville, Hopkinsville, most of Muhlenberg County. All are done with those snow flurries for now, and those will continue to push off to our east. These can be light for most of us, but there can be some heavier bands in there, as we definitely saw throughout today. It's been very kind of variable throughout this afternoon. Temperatures across the Mid-South are very, very frigid. 35 in Nashville, 33 here in Bowling Green, 37 in Paducah, 38 down in Jackson, and already at 29 in London, and even 29 in Louisville this afternoon. If you're heading out this evening, be sure to grab that coat, as it is very, very frigid. We could be looking at a hard freeze tonight with lows in the 20s, so be sure to bundle up. But the cold air, well, it's not going to last. We got a little bit of a warming trend, and also even a little bit more chance for some snow. I'm going to track all that coming up in my full forecast.
And severe weather season peaks during the spring months of March, April, and May. And eastern Kentucky is seeing major floods and tornadoes in recent years. And for some residents, that history, it can make this time of year especially difficult. Ashley Mullins is a psychiatric nurse practitioner at Primary Care Centers of Eastern Kentucky. And she says it's normal to worry about the weather, but people should reach out when anxiety starts affecting their day-to-day life.
A lot of people suffer from PTSD and anxiety related to that. It's really hard this time of year. I feel like March kind of ramps everything up. So definitely, if you are having fear and worry about weather, if you're constantly checking the weather apps and the radar, and you're kind of concerned about the weather, then definitely reach out to someone.
And Mullins recommends deep breathing, grounding exercises, and therapy as coping tools. She also says that to set specific times for checking the radar rather than monitoring it constantly. The National Weather Service says that having a plan and practicing it before severe weather arrives, that can also help reduce anxiety.
This is National Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, dedicated to spreading information about one of the most common causes of cancer in the United States. WBKO's Johan Lopez spoke with an expert about how treatable colon cancer really is, and he's in our studio now with the report.
WBKO's First Alert Weather, brought to you by MedCenter Health.
Good evening. This is a live look out in Scottsville using our AAA systems camera. Clouds are sticking around for most of us, and those are snow clouds. So we still have some flurries that are lingering around. They're going to clear off rather quickly, though. What's not going to clear off rather quickly is the cold temperatures, still in the 30s, and even coming in at 28 in Litchfield and E-Town, 32 here in Bowling Green, 30 in Glasgow, 30 in Albany, and coming in at 32 for our friends in Morgantown. And as I've kind of talked about throughout the show tonight, if you've watched, it's been interesting to see just how much temperatures have changed in the last 24 hours. 45 degrees colder than what we were this time yesterday. We had severe storms, tornado warnings last night, and we got snow today. Y'all, welcome to the South. It is some crazy weather that we have experienced just over the last little bit. Doppler max showing most of the snow showers pushing off to our east. Majority of us are done with it. Still some lingering for Bowling Green, even parts of Scottsville as well, out towards Glasgow, and really even stretching into parts of Columbia. Those will continue to clear on off this evening, and they're gone, like I said, pretty quickly. A few more passing flurries possible once again for your Tuesday morning. Now, I do want to say we don't expect any major accumulations from this. The roads there are still a little bit too warm. Those roads take a long time to really cool down. And because we were over 70 degrees yesterday, those roads are still pretty warm. So that's kind of keeping the snow from sticking on any surface, really, even not even just the roads. It's really limiting what that snow can stick to. So no major accumulations are expected. A few more passing flurries once again possible for your Wednesday as well. Or those clear out, and then we really start on that warming trend for your Wednesday, looking at maybe some showers possible for your Thursday as well. I don't think these will be widespread showers, just some passing showers. In fact, the National Weather Service is not even really hinting at the showers, but this model is wanting to show maybe some rain, so I'm putting just a 10% chance there. These will just be kind of scattered showers there for your Thursday. And like I said, we really continue on that warming trend. Cold for that St. Patrick's Day holiday, already back up to near 80 degrees by your Saturday, and we are hitting that 80-degree mark by next Monday. And it looks like that warming trend will continue. Our extended temperature outlook going March 24th through the 30th has all of us remaining above normal. That extended temperature outlook, so signs are pointing that we are continuing on a warming trend, which would be very, very nice. For tonight, a hard freeze is likely, so be sure to bundle up if you have to head outside. Take care of those outdoor pets and cover up those plants if you have any plants still out there. Those are going to be in those low 20s. Some spots will definitely be in the teens this evening. Sunset is about 6:55 p.m. this evening. Looking ahead to your St. Patrick's Day holiday, don't forget to wear your green. It'll be a very chilly holiday. Highs are going to be in those mid to upper 30s. Unfortunately, us meteorologists can't wear green, so we got something green behind us, but be sure to wear green so you don't get pinched. Sunrise will be a little before that 7 a.m. hour. Looking ahead to those next 7 days, well, a little bit of an active pattern, but definitely not what we saw over the last little bit. So chilly for that St. Patrick's Day holiday. Some snow showers for your Wednesday. Warming up by Thursday, just keeping that isolated rain chance in there, continuing on that warming trend, already hitting that 80-degree mark by next Monday. It looks like those warmer conditions will continue.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. The Medicaid Oversight and Advisory Board, they met this morning for the 4th time. And the purpose of today's meeting was to sort through the bills that in any way, shape, or form touch.
Every weathercast, even if we're talking about something days out, we want to inform you, give you the information you need to make a decision to stay safe.
Absolutely.
So,
well done.
It's an easier job today, though, because, well, it's cold, but it's relatively calm. Take a look outside right now, and the sky's actually might be trying to improve a little bit. It almost looks like those clouds are thinning out just a little bit, maybe a little bit of blue in there. I did see some peaks of blue sky on the way into work, so it's not all a carpet of clouds, but yeah, we've had quite a bit of cloud cover out there holding those temperatures down, and we've also seen our share of snow flurry activity. Not seeing really anything from the camera. There's that blue that I was talking about earlier, but 31 degrees, and of course no one going downtown right now, according to Flora Temple and Stewart AAA Systems Tower Cam at Fountain Square, and really can't say that I blame you with those temperatures like they are today. The weekends in the 70s, now we're down to 31. In real-time radar, you can see those snow showers moving across the area. It looks like we're getting a little bit of a break off to the northwest moving in here, and we do have a little bit of a dry spot that will be working its way in here. We're going to see those temperatures, or those snow showers, wrap up over the next several hours. For right now, though, we're dealing with temperatures in the upper 20s, low 30s across the area. Elkton, you folks are the sole holdout above freezing right now, only about 1 degree. We're going to see those temperatures continue to fall as we go into the overnight hours. By the time it's all said and done, we drop down into the low 20s by morning. We lose some of that cloud cover. That'll help those temperatures fall. And, well, we have another chance of some snow showers, and then we have warmer temperatures. I'll break that all down in just a bit, Reese.
All right, thank you, Scott. And for our top story tonight, Kentucky State Police are conducting a death investigation in Butler County. Troopers from Post 3 responded Monday morning to a report of a deceased man at a home in Rochester. State police say there's no immediate threat to the community. The man's identity has not yet been released. The investigation remains ongoing. Over in Metcalfe County, a traffic stop led to a drug and DUI arrest. The Metcalfe County Sheriff's Office says a deputy stopped a pickup truck Saturday evening in Noblick after seeing it driving carelessly on KY 1243. Deputies say the driver, 62-year-old Ronald Pointer, showed signs of impairment and was arrested after field sobriety tests. Authorities say a search led to the discovery of suspected methamphetamine, marijuana, prescription drugs, and drug paraphernalia. Pointer was taken to a hospital for a toxicology test and later booked into the Barron County Detention Center. The investigation remains ongoing. In other local news, the Glasgow Police Department, along with the city's Animal Control Office, is accepting donations for a city employee who lost her home in a fire over the weekend. On Sunday, the employee's home caught fire, causing extensive damage and destroying 2 bedrooms. The family also lost their cat in the fire. Once officials learned what assistance was needed, both the police department and animal control got to work collecting donations. The need for clothing, furniture, and monetary donations was shared on social media, and since then, the Glasgow Police Department says items have been coming in.
They are a very giving community. Anytime that we've reached out for any kind of assistance or help, they came through, you know, from day one. This situation is no different. We reached out immediately after the fire, and again, we've had plenty of donations that's coming in as we speak and able to help get her back up and running.
Donation items can be dropped off at the Glasgow Police Department and Glasgow Barron County Animal Control. For more information, visit our website at WNKY.com. Well, after nearly 4 years after the December 2021 tornadoes, some survivors are still dealing with financial and legal problems tied to the disaster. News 40's Nico Beeson has more.
Kentucky Legal Aid is launching a new series of free consumer law clinics aimed at helping survivors rebuild their financial stability. The clinics are part of the Your Money, Your Rights initiative and will provide legal education, advice, and possible representation for people in 15 tornado-impacted counties, including Warren County. Attorneys say while many families handled immediate recovery needs after the storm, long-term problems are still surfacing years later.
When there's a disaster, there are kind of short-term needs, mid-term needs, and long-term needs. So we're in the stage with the 2021 survivors where they're facing those long-term needs, which would be if there was a shady contractor that came in and didn't do the work on their home like they were contracted to do. There may still be insurance battles going on, but also there's an opportunity for fraud after disasters, and so a lot of times people don't notice that maybe there has been credit fraud.
Legal Aid says some survivors also took on emergency loans or debt while trying to rebuild, leaving them struggling financially years later.
So we're kind of doing a financial snapshot as well, just to see what's going on with them. Do they have garnishments? Do they have judgments against them? And how we can help with that. To connect with those survivors to make sure that they understand their rights when it comes to consumer law, to make sure that they understand that even though it's been over 4 years now, there's still agencies in this community with Kentucky Legal Aid and even our community partners who have resources and availability to help them.
You can visit Kentucky Legal Aid's website for the full clinic schedule, and their Bowling Green office is located at 1700 Destiny Lane. In Bowling Green, because local matters, I'm Nico Beeson, WNKY News 40.
Thank you, Nico. Over in Simpson County, a lawsuit surrounding a proposed data center development in Franklin was in court Monday afternoon. 10 Key Land Co. is suing the Simpson County Fiscal Court, arguing a county ordinance regulating data
is Friday. It starts Friday morning, and then Saturday will be the first full day of spring. And temperature's going to respond nicely for that. In the meantime, I'll take a look at the planner. This will explain it all. The weekly weather planner. We got a little bit of winter as we go through the day tomorrow and even the start of Wednesday, but we're going to see a nice bounce in temperatures. And after we get through these snow showers that could end as a few sprinkles on Wednesday, we are looking at a dry end to the week. So I think we'll all take that after what we had yesterday. And if you're like me, you got a little spoiled with the warm weather. I was out playing with the dogs in the backyard yesterday when we were getting up in the 70s. Of course, wind blowing all over the place. I didn't like that. And seeing those temperatures right now, according to the Mesonet, well, we are still in the upper 20s, low 30s. Elkton 33. Russellville has actually increased a degree now, and so has Franklin. So now seeing a couple more 33-degree readings, but that's temporary because these temperatures are going to drop. By the way, humidity sitting at 54% out there, so it is still a little bit moist out there to get those snow showers. Now we're going to see drier air try to infiltrate. Winds still breezy out there. Bowling Green's winds have actually increased from 8 miles an hour to 13 miles an hour over the last hour or so, and seeing still that northwesterly flow. Munfordville, very breezy, 24 miles an hour winds, and Glasgow, 17 mile an hour winds, and that's why we had the wind chill that I mentioned last hour was down in the teens in a lot of areas. It feels like temperatures. It's because of those breezy winds out there. As far as the satellite radar, got a pretty good area of snow shower activity, mainly east of I-65 now. Likely going to see another little burst as we go through the evening hours, overnight hours tonight. Then we lose the snow shower activity for tomorrow. Tomorrow looks dry, but it also looks cold. Here's a look at Futurecast. There goes the snow shower activity. So tomorrow looking somewhat sunny. So we get the sunshine back tomorrow, at least for part of the day, before another system comes in here tomorrow night into Wednesday. Could start out as a little bit of snow shower activity on Wednesday morning. I mentioned it changed over to rain, though, as we get the warmer temperatures in. That's all because of a little disturbance. Trough tries to develop into a front as it passes through, and that will give us, well, maybe a little bit of a decrease in temperatures for Wednesday night. Of course, we get that reinforcing cold front trying to come in here on Thursday. The good news is, never really makes it into the area with any impact. As a matter of fact, we're going to see those temperatures continue to rise even though it moves across the area. And on Friday, another system tries to make it in, and any one of these systems could touch off maybe an isolated shower. I think we're going to be trending dry, though, because there simply isn't a lot of moisture to work with. Another cold front threatens the area as we go into Friday, kind of parks itself as a warm front to the north, and we get some nice spring-like temperatures as we head into the first weekend of spring 2026. Tonight, though, it's winter. 22 for the low, mostly cloudy skies. Some gusty winds over the next several hours, 20 miles an hour, and we do have that isolated snow shower chance for the next few hours. 38 tomorrow for St. Patrick's Day, 57 on Wednesday. Remember, that a scattered chance of a snow shower changing over to rain. And then 70 on Thursday, 74 on Friday, even with that cold front knocking on the door, and we're in the upper 70s for Saturday. That's look at your 7-day forecast. Here's what's coming up tonight on the networks of WNKY.
I need to improve my golf game.
Me too.
What's it?
Gentlemen.